All right, everyone, welcome back into another NBA DFS live stream. We have you covered here with the Saturday 5-game slate on DraftKings. I believe it's a 7-game slate on FanDuel. So we'll start with the DraftKings slate, give you guys a first look build, and then we'll talk about the two later games for FanDuel. But what are your initial thoughts here for this slate?
Yeah, seems like a wild one. I'd say to be sure you're around your computer if you're going to play this one, or your phone, whatever you use to late swap. So should be a fun one.
Yeah, I don't know what's worse, like pre NBA trade deadline slates or post NBA trade deadline slates. They're unique in different ways. Obviously, now it's like what are the rotations? Whereas I guess before trade deadline, it's just who's in or out.
Yep. Yeah, I think a lot of the situations, like even last night, I remember I was like, I'm going to wait and see what happens. But it could be an advantage to be ahead of it as well. So I don't know. It
So
makes it fun.
a good example of that, I mean, we'll touch on this game later on, but like we'll pull up the Bulls here. Like Anthony Simons was one of the players that really went off on the previous slate, and it was just kind of, well, if you took away and see approach on that, you might be late to the party there. Obviously, we'll talk about that, but he's pretty chalk. But I thought that was a good example of that.
Yeah, definitely.
Let's go ahead and start here with the opening game, which what have we got? Utah versus Orlando on the DraftKings slate. I don't believe the. Yeah, we're good. We'll start with this. So Utah guys, everyone is pretty much good to go, which is a little bit of a shock for them. So I believe the confirmed starting lineup is Marketing at the 3, Jaren Jackson at the 4, and then Yusuf Nurk at the 5. So that's somewhat intriguing to me. We're not really getting that much ownership here. Do you see any reason to get to these plays, or is everyone just kind of priced up?
Yeah, not really. I think they're all just kind of priced correctly. It might actually be kind of decent though.
Yeah, I originally was getting into a lot of Keontae George, but now looking at his mids projection, I can kind of see why people are not getting into it.
Yeah, yeah, because it's. I think they still want to play Collier, and then so, yeah, I don't think they're like solidified on giving him 35 minutes or.
Yeah, that sucks. And like even Nurk would be someone if he was getting 4 more minutes, I'd be going crazy on him. What's interesting though is like they're all decent plays, and it's not like the data's saying they're bad plays at all.
Yeah, yeah, I think Nurk is probably my favorite.
Okay. We'll jump on into Orlando then. A little bit more there. Obviously, they get a good matchup here tonight going against Utah. Seemingly, obviously, I don't think Jaren Jackson's going to make too crazy of a difference there, but it's a 237 game total, 8 point spread in favor of Orlando. Is there anyone you're getting to a lot? I know everyone's trying to get to Jalen Suggs here.
Yeah, I think the Suggs price is probably incorrect with the minutes that he's been getting, especially on DraftKings. FanDuel probably is too, just because of the stock upside. So I'm good with it. I think he's a pretty solid play. After him, it's weird seeing Wendell Carter under 5K, but he's kind of
Yeah.
deserved it the way he's played. But I still think you're okay to take some shots on him, but the ownership's already kind of there.
Yeah, I'm right at 28% right now, so I'm tied with the field, which is I never really look at my exposures prior to the live stream, so it's always interesting to see. For what's worth, I'm also 51% on Suggs, so it's kind of interesting there. But I do think they're both solid. I could see Carter being a little bit overvalued, but it is a good matchup, and he is simply too cheap. Is that a spot where if we get more news? Maybe throughout this live stream or prior to the lock, where you would adjust off of Carter if we got better value?
Yeah, I think so, especially with it being the first game.
Mhm.
Kind of would rather save some roster spots, so wouldn't mind getting to like half the field or three quarters of the field or so on him.
Yeah. And then for me, I will say I don't mind the idea of being slightly overweight on Bane or Anthony Black. They've both shown upside really this whole year. Specifically, Bane's been better recently, and so I don't mind kind of chasing that hot hand. But it'd be like 26% compared to 23. Nothing crazy there. Where Black, I could be like 18% rather than 10% at least on DraftKings.
Yeah, I like that idea. I like both of them. I think Palo's in play in tournaments as well. FanDuel, the ownership's kind of there. DraftKings, I would say he's kind of underowned at 9K, but then
Mhm.
again, he hasn't played that great either. So I still don't mind it though.
Yeah, I was looking at his game log here, and I gotta pull it up because it is brutal. Like you see the matchup, and you're like, oh, he should like be in for a great spot, and then you see, oh, the last 3 games,
Yeah,
38, 26, 40. It's like, oh, that's pretty ugly, especially when we have Jokic in seemingly good spot if he plays, and then like uh, Johnson as well. It's like those
yeah,
are good pay ups, but it is a great matchup.
yeah, it is. And then like the bench, not really too interested in anybody there. Just not really enough minutes, I don't think.
Mhm. So yeah, we'll go ahead and jump on into the next game. Then we got Charlotte versus Atlanta. For Charlotte, Kobe White's out. Obviously, they traded Colin Sexton, and I'm pretty surprised at the ownership that we're getting here. For all of them, really, is this just like it's a decently high scoring game and a close game type of situation? What are your initial thoughts here with Charlotte?
I think so. That's kind of it to me. Just the minutes have been pretty solid for their starters. Good game environment. That's really the only reason I would see why they would be so highly owned. But that and they're a good team now.
I guess I
Yeah,
will say I have a lot of ball. I have about 38%, which is obviously really much higher than the field, but I only have about 25% of Brandon Miller, and Bridges I have about 23%. So just coming in a little bit lower than the field. And I personally think those numbers are a little bit more correct. Maybe I get a little bit lower on ball, but he at least has an upside there. I don't know. I feel like these are all a little too high, although I do understand it. Like I was looking at the data with Sexton off the court. Ball and Miller are the two that benefit the most.
yeah. I actually like the ball call there. Miller to me seems fine. Bridges is probably my favorite to kind of get away from. The price is okay on DraftKings, but he's also like the fourth offensive option on this team, so the ceiling's not really there.
Well, that's my biggest issue with Charlotte. Like trying to guess which one or which two aren't going to go off, or vice versa, which two are going to go off is kind of a headache. Like I don't know. I kind of am fine setting a cap of like 25% of all of them, and then we're okay. You know.
Yep. Yeah.
Um,
Khan at his price on DraftKings probably a little bit too cheap. I think he
yeah.
he looks pretty solid.
I agree. And any love for Diaby? He's getting a lot of love on DraftKings as well, 24%. Could just be a case where, we're taking 2 games off the slate.
Yeah. Yeah, I like Diabate. He's kind of a player I like anyways. I don't know if like the actual minute ceiling is there, but he could do it in the 29 minutes that we have him for.
Yeah, I think that's fair. We'll jump on into Atlanta then. So Atlanta, um, Jonathan Kuminga's out. So, I mean, not too much of a difference in regards to the Atlanta Hawks that we've seen for most of the season. What I do find interesting is we have McCollum, priced pretty cheaply tonight, projected at 28 minutes. I don't hate him. The field isn't really getting there. You have Jock Landale, who ended up having a pretty solid opening game for them, but Anika is going to be good to go in this game as well. Everyone's pretty low owned. And looking at the Charlotte ownership, that's part of the surprise to me with how everyone was on Charlotte, whereas Atlanta is all pretty low owned. So like, there's no runbacks really is what the field's saying.
Yeah. Yeah. I think someone from Atlanta would be pretty interesting, especially with so many people playing Charlotte. I think Jalen Johnson, of course, would be my favorite if I could get
Yeah.
there. I think he looks good, but I do think CJ actually looks pretty good at his price. Almost works as a pivot to someone like a Khan or someone in that price range. So I do think he looks like a pretty good tournament play.
Yeah. And I will say I do
Don't look
really
at the
like
game
that.
logs.
The game logs aren't bad. I mean, they're fine for are you talking about
No,
CJ McCollum? They're fine. It's just
yeah, it's a tournament play. I mean,
yeah, it's just you're chasing a good matchup, really. That's all it is. The issue is we haven't really seen him do much else. It's been a lot of points, not too many assist and rebound type nights, but I don't hate it in the matchup. But yeah, I think the pay up tonight is Johnson just kind of continuing the hot hand that he's been on.
yeah, definitely.
I'm just trying to see some of the comments here. Who we like for Atlanta. Those are kind of the two plays. Any love for Na at all? Like, I think he's fine. He's kind of my prototypical shoulder shrug play. Like, I don't really want to get to him, like go out of my way, but closing out a build, I've done it a couple times where it's like, okay, that's fine.
That's how I am too. If he makes it in my lineup, it's okay, but I'm not targeting him.
Yeah. This is an interesting question, and I would, unless you differ, I would say both. Both are perfectly fine. So it really just depends on the night. Typically, like if there's a clear value that we're getting, I typically like to start there and then go with the top OF index plays that are filling in after that position wise. Each night's different. What about you though?
Yep, that's pretty much how I do it too.
Um, any thoughts here?
No, I don't think so. Not with Okongwu back.
Mm-hmm. 3 Hornets in the lineup. That's interesting. So let's jump on into the next game here, which is going to be Denver versus Chicago. We are getting some extreme chalk here with Chicago, with Trey Jones being out, Josh Giddey still being out, Jalen Smith still a game time decision, which I do think matters in regards to who we want to be targeting. What I find interesting is we are getting Jaden Ivey for 31 minutes here, Colin Sexton only for 20 or so. And then Anthony Simons projected for 31 minutes. Simons is kind of the chalk on the slate, although Jaden Ivey ranks out as a much better DK value. So what are you doing with those two guards specifically?
Yeah, right now I think Simons to me looks pretty decent. Ivy, I don't know. It's weird to say to play Jaden Ivey, but I do think his role was pretty solid in the first game. So I don't know. I'm pretty happy with both of them. I think they both look pretty good.
Yeah, I set a rule to get to one of the guards between Sexton, Ivy, and Simons there. Like, I don't really care which one it is. I just want to get to one of them because I think chances are at least one of them are too cheap. So I don't mind if I get two, but I want at least one.
Yeah, I like that.
And then, yeah, do you think Gorson would be in play at all if Jalen Smith ends up being ruled out specifically on FanDuel at 3.5? He's already probably in play in some capacity.
Yeah, he probably is. I don't know exactly how many minutes he played last game, but I was watching the game. He was out there quite a bit, and he was pretty active when he was out there. So I don't mind taking some shots. They don't really care about Patrick Williams, so I think he
That
looks pretty good.
that's the thing. I think the Bulls minutes are just going to be tough to project for the next few games, and so if that's someone that people want to just manually give him a little bit more fantasy points and whatnot, I'd be all for that. He definitely stands out as a better FanDuel value. I'm fine getting to him on DraftKings as well, but if Jalen Smith is out, I think he becomes one of the better values, if not the best value on the slate. That's still a guessing game. Like watch Nick Richards gets 30 minutes tonight instead.
Yeah, you never know, especially with a team that don't really care to win. But yeah, I'd say whatever you want to take a stand on, I think you're good to do that.
I know I'm kind of happy for Bulls fans that they're finally embracing the tank because they've kind of been a team that should, although they've been good enough to make the playoffs, but it kind of felt like time.
Yeah, yeah, and they've been talking about trading Vooch for like 3 years. It feels like.
Yeah, I'm kind of upset that he went to Boston. It's a good fit there. It's
Yeah.
annoying. So is there a rule that not that you would set it, but do you prefer to get to at least one Bulls player in your builds tonight?
Um, Probably. I'm probably not going to set it, but I figure I'll probably have at least one bull in most of my lineups.
Yeah, and I kind of bring that up because I'm really surprised at the line of this game. It's a 6.5 point spread, 235 game total going against Denver here, who Denver is kind of weird with who's out. Peyton Watson's out, Aaron Gordon's out. Jokic looks like he's going to be active, but the line is kind of suspicious to me there. Like, I don't know. I'm just surprised that's only 6.5. And then Braun is expected back, and Cameron Johnson questionable after being out for quite some time. So is this a situation where I don't know what to do with it because I have a lot of Jokic right now, and if he sits, that could really be painful with the rest of my lines. And so I don't know exactly how to go about attacking this spot because I do think he's going to go off. At the same time, it's tough to pivot.
Yeah, yeah, I do think that line is pretty weird. Like I don't know. You would think it's at least more like 8.5 or 9.5, even going against a Chicago team that just kind of showed you what their intentions are. So yeah, I would say it's pretty sketchy. I don't feel great about it. I would say he's probably like a 50-50.
Yeah, right. And The issue is I think he's in a great spot here against the Bulls too, and he's the pay play I want to get to. And if I can't get to him, then sure, I'm happy to get to Banchero. I'm happy to get to Johnson instead as the payups because there is enough value to be able to fit Jokic in there, kind of no sweat.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I do think Jokic is a good pay up, assuming he does play. And then Murray, I think, looks good either way. If Jokic sits, Murray looks even better.
Yeah, and then we are seeing. I kind of am surprised by this. Christian Braun having that really good DK value rating, but coming in at no ownership. We haven't projected for basically 32 minutes. I don't know. I don't want to get to him at 5K on DraftKings. On FanDuel, sure, at 4.2. It's a little bit surprising that it's only 7% there.
Yeah, I think he looks pretty good on FanDuel. Scores better on FanDuel too. So yeah, I think he's a pretty good tournament play there.
Yeah. So we'll jump on into another game then here as well. So we got Golden State versus the Lakers. So both teams are somewhat banged up. We'll jump into the Lakers first. So we do know that Luka is going to be out tonight, and we are seeing Austin Reeves projected for around 30 minutes. I'm shocked he's not chalk. He just went off in the last game being back. Now with Luka out, like I was looking at his per 36 production, he averages like 54 fantasy points per 36. Granted, he's only projected to play 30 minutes, and it's a somewhat lower scoring game, 220 and a half, but I don't know. I feel like that's a good leverage spot. LeBron's getting a bunch of ownership because Reeves isn't getting it. I personally would flip it. Where are you at with those two, though?
Yeah, I like the Reeves call. Like more than half the ownership than Reeves for LeBron. I feel like I like the Reeves play too. Yeah, like you said, we just seen it. The minutes, we only have him at 29. I feel like he could even get a few more. They're normally not super strict in terms of minutes when it comes to the Lakers, so I think he looks okay. LeBron is fine if I get there.
Yeah, I don't mind getting to like one of them, although I do feel like it's just obviously pricing considered. It's much easier for Reeves to be able to at least hit value. I'm fine with LeBron. It's just, yeah, I prefer Reeves much more. Like again, I think I've just flipped the ownerships. And then we also have Larivia coming in kind of chalky as well. We have him at shooting guard, small forward, and then power forward on FanDuel. So interesting there. Any love for him?
Yeah, I think he looks fine.
Okay. And anyone else here? Smarts is okay. Vanderbilt, okay. They're all okay.
Yeah, I think Smart's okay. I do think Rui is a pretty decent pivot to Laravia. I don't mind him. Kind of got hot earlier on and then has cooled down some, but I still don't mind kind of mixing him in as a pivot to Laravia.
Mm-hmm. I don't know what this comment is. I wouldn't say only for LeBron. 8.7 is still pretty pricey for him. Then
Yeah.
Rui should eat tonight. We'll go ahead and jump on into the other side of this game. Yeah, Golden State. So Golden State's pretty thin still tonight as well. Curry, I guess both the Currys are out. Porzingis is out. And then Jimmy Butler obviously still out. Pods is good to go in this game. So what are we doing here? Because minutes-wise, that's what's ugly about the Warriors. You know, production-wise, like Melton really goes off with Curry off the court. Pat Spencer, someone that minutes-wise, it wouldn't be surprising to see him get more run. And Santos has been pretty solid lately. They're all rank out really well, DK value-wise and FanDuel value-wise. Are you getting to any of these guys?
A little bit. It's tough because, like you said, we don't even have anyone projected for over 30 minutes. Melton's still kind of like on a minutes cap, even though he's been great. So kind of tough to really prioritize him. I think Spencer has more upside in terms of minutes. He can at least potentially play more. And then Guy Santos has been really good. So I am pretty interested there. I think he's probably a little bit underowned. After that, it's kind of tough because they're just not going to play minutes. I would like Pods if we knew he was going to get 30 minutes. Still don't mind taking a few shots, so it's a good matchup.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's just annoying. Like, yeah, if we had any of them projected for 30 minutes, you just go pretty heavy on them. I would agree, though. Santos, to me, is probably the most appealing at 27 minutes, only 19% ownership, which I feel like that's a little bit too low. He's been pretty consistent lately.
Yeah, I like him.
And then I wish Will Richard is kind of cheap there. Post is kind of cheap there. I don't think you have to get there, but those are plays where if they have a good game and wouldn't surprise me, I'm not saying anyone needs to go there. It's just with the minutes being so random, it just wouldn't be too shocking. Although Horford's active in tonight's game, so probably not too much with Post.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think Horford's too bad of a play either. The ownership's kind of there on DraftKings.
Yeah.
FanDuel he's center only, so I'm probably not going to play him, but I think you can mix him in on DraftKings.
That is interesting. He's probably a slightly better play on FanDuel though. Like
Hmm.
obviously pricing wise, but again, you don't want to eat a center spot up. We'll jump into what we got: Phoenix and Philly, and then it's a weird slate for DraftKings. We'll jump into Phoenix first, Philly. So Embiid is questionable. I'm kind of assuming he's going to be active just based off this game being a 1-point spread, lower scoring game still. Barlow's been pretty decent lately. He's getting some ownership, and then Embiid's getting a decent amount of ownership as well, 20% for him. Any love for any of the Sixers?
Yeah, I do think Embiid looks pretty good. The Suns are like my least favorite team to target with anybody. They're just pretty good defensively.
Mhm.
But I do think Embiid looks good. Um, Barlow seems okay as a value. That's pretty much it. I think like a lot of them are playable, but Oubre seems okay, probably correctly priced. Maxi just hasn't really been doing it with Embiid back lately. Or even when Embiid's out, he's kind of been struggling. But probably just Embiid here as my primary target.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. So we'll jump into the other side of this game with Phoenix. And Phoenix is, are we still waiting on updates here for, yeah, we are. So Devin Booker listed as questionable, Jalen Green listed as questionable as well. We know that Cole Anthony is out, recently acquired Cole Anthony, and then we also have Grayson Allen out. And so this is a weird spot on the slate because like if we knew for sure Jalen Green was out or if we knew for sure Booker was out, that would make some of the other plays much more appealing. Like if Booker was out, I'd probably be getting into a lot of good one, especially if Green were out. But it does feel risky for this slate at least to play any of the Suns, and that's really what the ownership is showing.
Yeah, it does. And then you kind of have the close spread too, which makes me think Booker's probably going to play.
Yeah.
So it's kind of just tough to get to anybody here.
Mm-hmm. Brooks is getting 7%, which I don't know. Like if Booker's out, like he becomes a better play for sure, but he's not. He's like a risk reward type play basically every slate.
Yeah, yep.
So let's try to jump into a first look build here for DraftKings. Then we'll jump into some FanDuel as well. I'm just going to refresh the data. I don't think we got any slate changing news here. Do you see a starting point on tonight's slate?
Tonight, I think we probably want one of those Bulls guards like Simons or Ivy.
Mm-hmm. I don't care. I know the data says Ivy and he's a little bit lower on, but I don't care. Which one would you rather get to?
Yeah, we could go Ivy, and then I like Suggs as well.
Okay. Yeah, we'll put those two in.
After that,
Yeah, after that, that's a biggest question there. I mean, we could go Simon still, anyways. I think it can work.
Yeah, I don't mind it at all.
And then I kind of mentioned to you, I like paying up for Jokic, or would you rather go with Jalen Johnson instead?
We could go Jokic. I like it.
Okay. I think we both agreed the best spend up would be Embiid, right?
Yeah, Embiid for me.
I agree. And then so from there, do you want to do two kind of pay ups, or do you want to go with another value? Where are you at?
I'd like to get another value. We could go to Laravia. He kind of feels somewhat like a decent building block, I guess.
Yeah, we got him and Barlow as well, but we'll go Laravia there. We could go Barlow still too, I guess, but 5.7 left. I don't know. Do you want to try to get? I want to try to get to Johnson if we can. Okay. I guess we can. 3.1 left over. That gets pretty brutal. Yeah, it gets pretty brutal there. So probably not. That's all right. If it was like 3.5 left over, I'd be perfectly fine with it.
Yeah.
Power forward. I'm fine getting to Gorson or like Barlow. Really, either of those two?
Yeah, I don't mind either one of them. We could
No,
go.
we'll go Barlow for now. Although I do like Gorson more. It's just safer.
Yeah, yeah. We don't have Embiid. Like lineups with Embiid, I'm probably more likely to go uh, to Yabusele.
Mm-hmm. All right, so
We
I
have
guess
got.
this is where we probably have to get to some of the Charlotte plays on. Like I don't necessarily love them, but they're so chalky. We probably need to get to them.
Yeah, yeah.
So it could either be Miller, Ball, Bridges, really any of them. Do you have a preference?
We could try Ball and see how that leaves us.
Okay. 5.3. Pretty solid. Santos.
Moody, Santos, Horford.
We
I'm
did
good with all those.
we did have a question about Moody earlier. What are your takes on him tonight?
He's fine. Like he does have a ceiling occasionally, but like we said about the Warriors, they're just not going to play very many minutes. So you just got to hope he gets hot quick.
Yeah. So then we'll jump on into more of the FanDuel slate here, guys. We got the two later games. I find this Portland game versus Memphis game interesting, but also kind of a headache. So in a weird way, it's kind of okay that it's not on the DK main slate at least. We'll start with Portland, a little easier. Denny Avdia currently questionable. Scoot Henderson is out. Sharp is out. And that's really it for like big minutes producers. But obviously, if Avdia plays, that changes some things. We haven't projected for 18 and a half minutes. So I should rephrase that. If he plays the full game, that changes things. So what are we doing here just in general with Avdia? And then after that, what are we doing with the rest of Portland plays?
Yeah, it's kind of tough. Like I would assume if he's in, he's good to go. Like to play is not probably 35, 36 minutes, but probably around 32, 30 to
Mhm.
32 at the high end. So I don't mind Denny if he's in. We show him at 13% ownership. I think that's pretty good. Like I'd rather play Jalen Johnson, but that's paying
Yeah.
up more as well.
Yeah. I'm right there with you. Uh, it's just fascinating here, the amount of minutes, because like if Drew Holiday for sure plays 34 minutes, I'd be like, sign me up for that. I would love that in this matchup here against Memphis.
Yeah, yeah. I think Drew looks pretty good. I played him yesterday. He did pretty well. That's the only concern I would say is it's the back end of a back to back. But if he really
Yeah.
does play 30, even 32 minutes, even 30 minutes, I think at his price would be pretty good with the lineup that they have out there.
Yeah, they're kind of forced to give him run though, because of who's all out. I mean, maybe Krejci picks up some point guard run. I doubt that. Like I don't see who would be operating the point there because Sharp is out and Scoot Henderson's out. Like I don't know, would it be Cisco? I don't think so.
No, it would probably be Denny if he's in. But if Denny's out,
Yeah,
then it's Drew's just going to have to play like an absolute ton. So
yeah,
yeah, that's a good call. I do like I like Drew quite a bit, and I would say he's probably actually underowned.
yeah. Exactly at 5.9. You know, especially with him being able to get blocks and steals. That's interesting there.
Yeah,
We'll jump on into Memphis here. So it is a high scoring game. Should mention that 235. And so obviously we want to get to pieces in this game. Very interesting in terms of FanDuel value rating. So we got Prosper here at 35 or 30.5 minutes, coming in at 28% ownership. Cam Spencer projected for 32 minutes. Both pretty interesting in some capacities, just with how banged up Memphis is. So Coward's out, Wells is out, Aldama's out, Clark is out, Edie's out, John Morant's out, and Pippin's still out as well. So, I mean, I this is another one of those, like, some people are going to go off. It's just like, who's going to go off?
yeah. This team is a mess, and then they don't really have like a true center, so that makes it kind of hard too.
Mhm.
Omac started at center last night, but Kyle Anderson was out. With Kyle Anderson assumed back, I almost think he could even start at the five,
Yeah.
which would make him a really good play. Like we know he's not going to play upper 30 minutes, but give him 28 minutes at 4K. He looks pretty good as a starting center. So I think Kyle Anderson could potentially be interesting. Um, I don't know. Like They're kind of like the Warriors. They just don't have a huge minute ceiling, but a lot of them look good.
I'm with you there with Kyle Anderson. I think that could be a sneaky good play. Although I guess he's getting some ownership. This will be interesting to see how the minutes update. The play that I like the most is Walter Clayton, projected for 27.5 minutes. I just feel like if he actually gets that, which I don't see a reason why he wouldn't now, he should shoot the basketball a decent amount. And I think he should be probably double what he's currently owned. I know we're getting a lot of good guards and specifically guard values, but I really like that spot. And then we got some comments saying like J.G. Jackson. Any love for him tonight?
Yeah, I like GG Jackson as well. The model has been higher on him than it is today. I will say that, but I'm still pretty interested in getting to GG almost upward, almost towards 6K now, so it makes it a little bit harder.
Yeah, yeah. And then I hate how Ty Jerome's priced just on FanDuel. That's annoying. 7.1, just basically saying, oh, you can't play him tonight.
Yeah, it's dumb. I do think our minutes are wildly off there. I don't know why we're at 13.
Let's see. We might have just caught it in a weird refresh, honestly. Yeah. So let's just double check it. Or it's something that will refresh here. Kind of the same. It's a little, basically the same still. So that'll probably be something that still updates. I mean, you're dealing with two teams as well, especially Memphis here, where a lot of players are out, some trades, and so it is more difficult to have proper minutes projections on a slate like this.
Yeah, and I would say for this game, you probably want to save a couple roster spots because whatever that Memphis starting lineup is, you're going to want some of it. And yes. I don't think anybody really knows who they're going to start.
Yes, I like that call. So we just got a comment for someone saying that James Harden's going to be good to go in this game. So that's a little interesting. Do you have any initial thoughts here for the Cavs with Mobley and Strus out? And then, if Harden's active, what are your thoughts here?
I think it's pretty interesting. Jared Allen is probably the first one that comes to mind. Harden's pretty good at helping his center out. So feel pretty good about Jared Allen here, especially we got Sabonis ruled out. So the matchup's pretty good. But he's probably my favorite play from the Cavs.
And especially on FanDuel with the power forward eligibility as well, it just creates so many lineup opportunities. And he's someone that with Mobley off the court, he just benefits a bunch. And with it being Harden's first game, I do kind of expect him to facilitate a little bit more or take more of a backseat role. And so I like that spot a lot for Allen. The issue is after that, is there anyone we get to at all?
Not really. I want to wait and see with Donovan. I think his price comes down some. Not having to take as much offensive responsibility. And then Harden, I guess we just kind of talked about he'll probably facilitate a little bit more, but he's at least in play at his price. I don't mind it.
Mm-hmm. We'll jump on into the other side of this game. So, it is now a 13.5 point spread with Sabonis being ruled out here, or 13-point spread. And so we also know that Levine's out and DeAndre Hunter is out as well. So seemingly we should be getting some value. Cardwell's getting some love. I don't hate that at the center position. The data really likes it. It also likes Devin Carter as a value tonight. I'm surprised that a lot of people aren't getting to Monk or DeRozan, though, as a response to Levine and Sabonis being out, with Hunter still being out as well. What are your thoughts here?
Yeah, I think they look pretty decent. Devin Carter, to me, I think is fine. I don't think he really stands out more than the other guards in his price range. Cardwell looks okay. He is center only, so I don't know if I really want him in 20% of my lineups, but especially going against Jared Allen. But I think he's okay.
That's a good point.
The rest, like you mentioned, I do think are interesting. DeMar is under 7K. Think he looks pretty good. And then Monk, you never really know what his minutes are going to be, but he's one of the best scorers on this team, or he probably is the best scorer on this team. So he really needs to play.
Mm-hmm. And I will say I get the price on Westbrook, and I'm not even saying playing, but it is kind of crazy. Like even a month ago, if you would have told us, they're kind of shorthanded, he's going to get 30 plus minutes and he's at 6.6, I feel like we'd all been loading up on him. It's crazy how terrible he's been. Like it's shocking that like literally a month ago it'd been like, this is awesome, we're playing him.
Yep. We actually just got Power just shouted out Monk is out and Jalen Smith is out.
Really?
Yeah, so I guess Russ is probably more in play
Yeah,
now. Russ
perfect.
and good for Clifford and Devin Carter. So I guess they all
Yeah.
look a little bit better to me.
Good shout outs here. So Gorson Froley in play now on Chicago as well. So we got this question as well. Oh, this is an interesting question. I feel like this could be the way to get to Utah because none of them are really chalky. I kind of mentioned I like getting to George. I'm surprised at his ownership, but I guess it's just the projected minutes. And so with that, they're all a little thin tonight. But what do you make of that idea stacking Utah specifically?
Yeah, I don't know if I'd stack them three specifically. Maybe two of them, just because they kind of need decent rebounding games in order to hit a ceiling. So maybe two of them is fine, and then Keontae or something like that if you really want to get into that game. But probably prefer staying to like two Utah players, I would say.
I'm curious if I missed the news on this, or is this just the minutes are being wonky right now? No, he will be limited to 24 minutes. So, huh?
Who is
I
that?
mean,
Keontae?
yeah.
Okay.
So that does help probably marking in a little bit. I don't think that's going to necessarily help Nurk or Jackson too much.
Yeah, and Collier's priced up, so it don't really matter to him. So yeah, I don't know. It probably just helps Lori usage wise, and then Nurk probably, I guess.
Yeah, that sucks. I had some props bets on George earlier today, so those are going to miss. That sucks. Let's jump back into Chicago here just to kind of rehash this. So this isn't going to update. I don't think it's going to update just yet, so no need to refresh. Give it about 5 minutes, but we're probably looking at I would say at least two Bulls players now with Jalen Smith being out, right?
Yeah, and I wonder who starts at center. If it's they're going to go with Yabu or if they start Nick Richards. I don't
Right.
know. I would definitely be looking out for that. I would think going against Jokic, like Yabu would probably be fine. So I don't see why they wouldn't go that route. Nick Richards is kind of just who he is, but he's
Mhm.
min price. So I think he has to at least be in conversation now. Even if he only gets 18, 20 minutes, I think he's pretty decent.
And just the matchup with Jokic kind of brings in potential foul trouble for either of them, too.
Yep.
Oh, dude. All right. This is an interesting slate. Any final thoughts here for this one?
No, it's a crazy one. Kind of like we said at the beginning, make sure you're around and checking these lineups because anything could happen. Starting lineups could be crazy. Still waiting on Jokic stuff. And then if you're playing FanDuel, lean towards the later games if you have any kind of 50-50 decisions.
Definitely. I like that call it with FanDuel. Definitely need to be doing that. But that'll do it for this live stream, guys. Appreciate you being here, guys. We'll catch you on the next live stream. Good luck with all your lineups.
Good luck.